Welcome to the Impulse Podcast, a podcast created by queer people for queer people to go about and talk about the queer experience. My name is Karloz.
And I'm Jamaal.
And today we are going to be talking about redefining relationships beyond monogamy.
Mm-hmm. That's spicy.
Mm-hmm. And for that, we have a very special guest today, psychotherapist Alex Antonucci.
Got
him. There you go.
Yeah.
Practicing.
But before we get into all of the good and the good conversations and discussions, like we start every podcast, we want to know how you're impulsing out there. And I'm going to tell how I impulse so that I can start this off. Well, today, right now, I'm feeling very aligned. My impulse is aligned. From the rooter to the tutor. You get me? You feel me? Karloz, how you feeling?
I'm going to use that as a bumper sticker from the rooter to the tutor. How am I feeling? I am feeling book blessed and highly favored. Okay. So, yeah, I got a lot of work going on right now, which is great. So, yeah. Alex, how are you impulsing?
How am I impulsing today? Being here with you all, this is very impulse of me, I think. It's definitely my impulse moment for the day, I'd say.
We are an impulse moment.
I love it.
I like that.
Follow your impulse.
Yes.
So, nowadays, non-monogamy has become a little popular, especially in the queer community. And I don't think a lot of people, especially those of us from an older generation, quite get it. So, like, can you, like, walk us through to, like, what is the basic definition of non-monogamy and how it works?
Sure, I'd love to do that. So I'll start off sharing a little bit about myself, so you know the listeners and the viewers know why I'm even talking about this.
And me too. I want to know.
There you go.
I'm interested.
Who are you? I'm Alex Antonucci. I am a relational therapist, founder of Be Well Counseling and Coaching. My practice helps people improve their relationships with others, but most importantly, the relationship with the self. That's kind of what relationally focused therapy, as I've come to refer to it, is all about. We help people address social relationships, familial relationships, professional relationships, certainly romantic and sexual relationships. Part of why I'm here to talk to you all today. But at the core of the work is helping people take what works in relationships with others and turn that inward. Right? Mm-hmm. How do you establish healthy boundaries with others? How do you communicate and speak love to others? How do you set reasonable and fair expectations for others? And then are you turning that inward in order to foster, a healthy, happy, and loving relationship with yourself? So I work with a lot of gay men at any given moment. My practice is about 50% LGBT plus community, specifically gay men. So I've definitely walked a lot of people through the exploration into non-monogamy and polyamory. You started asking me what it's all about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I mean, I personally, like I hear like there's open relationships, there's polyamory, there's non-monogamy. Is there a difference? Is it a
paint a picture for the people.
There you go.
Give a nice framework, because what I know is polygamy and polyamory be whooping people's ass. It be whooping y'all ass, and y'all have no idea what the hell y'all be talking about online. So, so we have a professional here now to really just break down the dynamics of non-monogamy.
Sure. So on the spectrum of closed to open. Otherwise, one might understand the spectrum as traditional to progressive when it comes to relationship modalities. We'll start the most traditional, the most closed, what we usually refer to as monogamy. Mm-hmm. We think that we have a shared understanding of what monogamy is, but in order to help facilitate, I think, the healthiest discussion around open relationships and polyamory, which I'll describe more in a moment, I like to emphasize the point that one healthy functioning couple's version of monogamy is oftentimes very different than another healthy functioning couple's version of monogamy, mm-hmm. right? Your best girlfriend from college and her husband may have the kind of monogamy where they can be watching a movie on a Saturday night and she may be like, Oh, Ben Affleck is looking fine in this movie. Baby, he is fine. You see, that would be, right? And he laughs and he chuckles. Maybe he's even turned on by that. We all know of monogamous relationships where any kind of mention that a person, even behind a TV screen, is hot or attractive or certainly sexually stimulating. And some shit. Right. Am I allowed to curse?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Fuck, big ass, fuck, shit.
So we started there, right, with monogamy, where the traditional understanding of that is that the emotional relationship exists between two people, the sexual relationship exists between the two people. Right? Now we move on to open relationships. And when I start talking to my the couples I work with in therapy about open relationships, I always like to say that term actually doesn't mean anything. So what good does it do people to when they ask me, so what are open relationships all about? Well, that term doesn't mean anything. Okay, so what do we do with that, right? The reason I kind of start there is I want to emphasize that what you are moving away from, I think, are when a couple considers the transition or actually transitions from monogamy to an open relationship, what they are effectively exploring is creating their own rules, establishing their own definitions of what this relationship is, how it looks, how it functions. We are moving away from the safety. Some people would say the prison. Some people would say the gift.
I say the template.
The template.
I say the
Exactly.
template.
Right. Yeah. Some people love that stuff. That stuff really aligns with some people. Some people find a lot of purpose in that. For some people, it is inauthentic. For some people, it is
arcane,
really
outdated.
Antithetical to who they are. Right. And nobody's right or wrong.
You got opposite sides of the spectrum.
Oh yeah, I'm starting to get the sense. I think I can take a guess who's who. So open relationships are about defining what our boundaries are in this relationship. Usually, when in the LGBT plus community we talk about open relationships, what we mean is that the members of that relationship are allowed to have sex with other people, are allowed to be sexual with other people, but that the emotional connection remains exclusive to the two
primary partners.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. Again, that's not written in stone anywhere, right? That's not scientifically backed.
It's just some concept some queen made up.
Yeah. But it's helpful to generally kind of like understand, language helps us frame conversation and shared understanding. So that's usually what people mean when they talk about open relationships. They're only in love with each other. They aim to only have feelings for each other, but they're allowed to play with others, sometimes individually or together. Then we move to polyamory. Of the three, polyamory is the most open, the least traditional, certainly. The most progressive. It has the least sort of like predefined boundaries. Polyamory now generally means that you are having sexual encounters with other people, either individually or together alongside your partner. But it can also include emotional attachments to people, romance, even other partnerships. Sometimes, let's say you and I are in a relationship, Jamaal, we're primary partners, and we decide to start practicing polyamory. We may both date Karloz.
Yes.
Right? Where now the three of us are in a relationship.
Yes.
Or maybe it's just you and Karloz getting down.
That's a loud ass house.
Yeah. Right.
A throuple.
Yeah, there you go. A throuple.
Yeah. I don't do laundry.
I got the laundry. I'm pretty good at laundry. Other times it's just the two of you in a relationship. You share a relationship. You share love, a romantic connection, sexual life with him. You also do that with me, but we don't engage in that way. Right? Exactly.
And I won't say couple, but every team makes up their own rules, kind of deal, right? Do you see that being like a big part of it? Like a lot of people get into this and then they don't realize that the core of it should be you guys deciding what the rules are and what the boundaries are
together
and
as a unit.
Yeah, and then people run into like, oh, too little, too late. I didn't know that was gonna upset me, and now I hate you. Not that that's ever happened to me twice.
This is
therapy right here.
Yeah. We can talk about it. This is the first order of business. When I'm, at least in the therapeutic setting, facilitating an exploration, maybe we're just having a conversation about it, right?
Yeah.
That establishing of boundaries, among other things. It's not just, and when people hear boundaries, they think these are all the things that you can't do. That's not the most ideal framing for it. Boundaries may include things that we mutually agree to avoid for now, to not engage with for now, right? But boundaries may also be about, or rather the discussion about what our terms are for our open relationship. Oftentimes include what our goals are. An exploration of how things feel, of what we want, of how we'd like to go about interacting with the people that our primary partners interacting with. One of the things I find really important to address around this conversation, and I kind of wanted to, with your permission, get to this toward the beginning of the dialogue.
Go in.
Is the fear that this triggers for a lot of people. I see, especially in working with gay men, there are those of us who are all about it and have almost like an innate openness to the idea of either an open relationship, what we technically refer to as consensual non-monogamy. Yeah. Or
ethical non-monogamy.
There you go. Also oftentimes referred to as ethical non-monogamy. Or polyamory. Some people just have like that wiring, that openness. They've heard about it and there's a curiosity, there's an openness to it. And then there's a whole other group of people, gay and straight alike, who are terrified by it, who feel really kind of left out.
Abandoned.
Yeah. Abandoned before even getting into like a relationship because they feel like I am this outlier. I'm never going to find love in the LGBTQIA community because I just want a more normal seeming traditional monogamous thing. And consensual non-monogamy, open relationships, polyamory, they are not for everyone, just like monogamy is not for everyone. But one of the things I want to really push the most is before we can have a healthy conversation with a partner about what we want to try, what we don't want to try, it's really important that we touch base with ourselves about like what the feelings are that this stuff brings up, right?
What is it that I always say? Before you fuck around,
you got to find out.
You got to
find
You
out.
got to find out first. You before
don't
you
fuck around and find out.
Right.
Find out first.
We're not doing FAFO, we're FOFA-ing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Finding out, then fucking around.
Finding out first.
And
then fuck around. You'll be a lot better on the other side.
Because you have to, you're there touching on we previously spoke about, my therapy sessions, and my therapy sessions were a lot around my relationships, my past relationships, and how I wanted an ethical non-monogamous relationship moving forward, because I saw that for myself because of the things I unpacked within myself first and how I engaged in certain monogamous relationships. So, and that a lot of things stemmed from abandonment issues, trust issues, and codependency. A huge thing that we do not talk about or tap on in the LGBTQIA plus community. It's like an underlying evil little demon lurking around in the shadows that we haven't healed yet as a people, because we're natural outliers to society, and so therefore we want to formulate these bonds and latch on, and this is my forever, this is my thing, and fast we find a lot of things are fleeting and not as concrete and solid as we thought they were. Yeah. So I love that you went there. And I want to go more there about, how knowing oneself inwardly helps create a better, healthy relationship when talking about multiple partners.
Work. I love that question. Going back to what I was touching on before, the as we're describing, like the feelings that this stuff brings up. If you're coming from a place of fear, it's important to acknowledge that. And what I see is a lot of people thinking that they're coming from a place of defined values. That's not for me. I believe in real love. I believe in my life isn't all about sex. These are the kinds of things that I hear that I think what they are is not a defining of your own value and what you are seeking in a relationship. It's an admonishing of what you think are someone else's values, right? Oftentimes as gay men, we create this kind of boogeyman of the typical gay man. I hear it so much. I've experienced it myself, frankly. I'm called to this work because I've had a lot of the challenges that my clients deal with, right? So I'm passionate about it. I believe in it. We many of us have this like boogeyman of what the gay man is that we use to
Punch down on.
But that also we allow to punch down on us, such that like that is what everybody wants. That's what they all want to be. They are all fill in the blank, right? And it is not true that we are all, we're not a monolith, and we are, as varied as the rainbow.
Spirit fingers.
Yeah.
Everybody wants that headless torso. You don't have to be that headless torso.
Yeah.
You know which headless torso I'm talking about.
Bloop, is that me?
Speaking of that, do you feel like the idea of non-monogamy has expanded more because of the apps?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I think the apps have been.
Ooh.
Oh, you all heard that? Swallow?
Impactful, to say the least. I think the apps have accelerated a kind of sexualization, right? A kind of centering of sexuality and sexual experience that in some ways is healing for us as a community. And, a moment ago I said that we're not all a monolith. Now here I am talking about us in general terms. I think it's they both fit.
It's also and paradigm.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Love that phrase. Yeah. To your question, they have kind of accelerated, what some might consider an already sort of hypersexual culture, especially among gay men, and that has an impact on dating. How has that impacted the prevalence of non-monogamy? I'm not so sure. Where I do see an impact is the challenge between what people want and then versus what they feel capable of really like sitting in and building. We want that long-term relationship with the loving partner. We want the long-term commitment, whether that's sexually open to other people or not. And when there's nothing wrong with casual sex. For a lot of people, it can be healing. It can be fun. But I think we need to be aware of the fact that we are dealing with a powerful force.
Yeah.
When we're fucking with sex.
Yeah.
Right. And one of the things that I see happen, unfortunately, when we lose sight of that, especially when we are there's a hypersexualization going on in the community that happens via the apps. It promotes it, it encourages it, it normalizes it. Is that it kind of inhibits our ability to practice other forms of connection, especially in the romantic sexual sphere.
Yes, God.
Right? A part of whether you're open or not, a part of a relationship is sex, is physical attraction.
Sometimes for some people. It's not.
Right. There you go. That's a great point. When you practice that so much, in psychology we have a saying that what you practice you reinforce, and it's kind of like a a path that you're trudging between point A and point B, the more that you walk down that path, there's a groove in the ground now. It becomes difficult to take another path. Wow. So the more that we practice as humans, right, sex in a particular way, the harder it becomes physiologically to practice sex in different ways.
Wow.
So if I'm having, and these, what is too much, that answer is different for everyone. But if I'm having what for me may be too much frequent casual sex, it becomes really difficult to practice different kinds of sex.
Wow. So this I'm not going to diagnose anything or solidify anything, but what I'm hearing and what I'm retaining is the more we practice these behaviors, the further away from something that we may actually want we get away from, maybe like intimacy. Maybe like, because you have to build intimacy. It takes a level of vulnerability to get to an intimate space. And with what, a 1-2 hour meeting of someone that's transactional, you top, I bottom. You bottom, I top. I fist, you open your butthole, or you open your mouth, I put my cock in it, or my dick, or whatever, I open my legs, you do whatever you need to do. Whim, bam, thank you, ma'am.
Sometimes they even shake your hand at the end.
Yeah, sometimes I get a name. Sometimes even I get a name,
Sometimes not, and that's okay too.
And that's okay. That's okay. But the more you practice
point,
these things, the more you make them your reality. The more this is what you're telling your brain, now your body, this is what I'm wanting, so this is what you're emitting. This is what you're attracting. And it's hard to get out of that space. So you have to be taught something different.
Especially down here in Miami, because we're such a... I was saying earlier, I was a bartender in gay bars for 20 years. Holla to all you people who drink. But what I noticed is that we call it Fresh Meat Mondays, because every week you get a whole new batch of very horny men who are here to do the things that they wouldn't do back home. So for a lot of locals, it's almost like a never-ending supply of sexual partners. But then what I noticed, especially from a lot of my regular local customers that would be sat at the bar with me, like, I can't find the man that'll stay with me because there'll always be somebody younger and hotter and hornier coming in the next Monday. So especially here in this city, man, it became very hard for a lot of gay men to just settle down and find a relationship because they were always looking for the next dick to suck.
Damn. Fresh Meat Monday.
Fresh Meat Monday. Keeping it real.
So, you're a psychotherapist, so we are literally talking about mental health. Wow. We're really touching on mental health when we're talking about all of these things that we have covered during this episode.
Look, mental health is everything. Right? You are mentally and emotionally present or absent, but still engaging mentally and emotionally in anything that you do. Driving, we're talking about sex, masturbating on an app, doing your homework, going to sleep. Like thoughts, cognitions, emotions are happening even when we sleep via dreams, right? And this brings up a lot of feelings for people. Sex, relationships, love. I mean, this stuff is inherently emotional. So I loved, I think, what you were asking about before about like getting in tune with oneself and understanding that that's a big part of my work. Like you can have and enjoy the hell out of a casual hookup, right? Out of a situation where you are engaging very sexually with someone whose name you don't even know. But to do that while losing the awareness of one's own vulnerabilities, of one's own feelings, of the fact that you're like a sentient being is, you want to be careful with it. We want to be careful with that.
It's a slippery slope.
Yeah.
It's a very slippery slope.
We have a question from the audience right over there. Ma'am, what's your question? Oh, that's a good one. So, this is a real audience member, by the way. So, we know how to protect ourselves physically when, hoeing around, as I scientifically get called. We know with condoms, with PrEP, with PEP. How do you think people can protect themselves emotionally or mentally for getting into a non-traditional relationship?
Thank you, ma'am. That's a sexy question.
Connection.
Oh,
Connection with other humans via mentorship, via friendship, via family, via a faith community, if that's your thing, via shared interests. Connection that exists outside of the space of sexuality, right? We all need food to survive. There's healthy food, there's delicious food, there's food that's good for you but not so much fun. Same is true for sex, but we also need to do things other than eat sometimes, right?
yes.
Making sure that we are that we have a community, right? Whether that's 2 or 3 close friends, 1 who lives locally, 2 who live back in your home country, whether it's that that trusted member in your family that you can talk to about these things openly. So much of the magic, I'll be honest, that happens in a therapy session has very little to do with me. And it's about the person just being able to hear themselves verbalize ideas and catch how something sounds when they say it in the air. That's part of the magic of therapy, and that is available to people also outside of therapy, right? Qualified therapists can do things for you that your friends, that your family members, your colleagues cannot do, but those other relationship forms can do things for you that a quality therapist can't, right? And there are boundaries in my communication with the client. We all have that friend who doesn't have boundaries, and we love them for it. There you go. Yeah.
What are you wearing?
Yeah. The ability to ask somebody, girl, what are you doing? It sounds like you're full of shit right now. You're saying that you're okay with this. This doesn't sound like you. So what is it, right? Is it in fact that you are evolving, that you're changing, that you've transitioned toward a new way of being, or are you really trying hard to fit into this person's?
You heard that? You're going to have to talk about your feelings.
You are going to have to talk about your feelings. You're going to have to find community. And that's why we here at Impulse will always welcome you into our global community. 13, come on, help me with it. 13 countries.
13 countries and
26
26 chapters. 26 cities. Anyways,
5 continents.
Yes, just find us, join us. We're here to
subscribe,
be
and
your
share.
friend. And we like to thank our special guest tonight. Thank you so much, Alex, for being with us and teaching us so many amazing things. Tell the people how they can find you.
Sure. Alex Antonucci, my website is www.bewellcnc.com. That's Be Well Counseling and Coaching.
There you go. You heard it here first. And we'll see you next time at the Impulse Podcast. My name is Karloz.
And I'm Jamaal.
And we'll be back.